Good morning and welcome to yet another session where I, Neha Muthian, will be in conversation with Srimati Nilima Adhyeji. Nilima ji was groomed by legendary dancer Pandita Rohini ji Bhate, and she represents the lineage in terms of style, thought, and repertoire. She holds a master's degree in Kathak, mathematics, and acupressure. She is the director of Nritya Bharati, which was founded by Rohini ji, and also runs her own institute, Prakriti Kathak Nrityalay. She has been awarded the Guru Pandita Rohini Bhate Puraskar by Pune Municipal Corporation. She has performed in noted dance festivals in India and Europe and has also conducted lecture demonstrations and workshops. A meticulous planner and a disciplined person, Dilimaji also writes on relevant topics in Kathak and also reviews performances. I welcome you, Nilimatai.
Namaste. My pranam
Yes,
to my Guru, Guru Rohini ji, and to the viewers and to you, Neha. Thank you for inviting me.
thank you, Tai. Tai, let's start from your childhood. Like, how was what instigated you into learning dance, and how has it been a fruitful journey till now?
Okay. Actually, my mother wanted to dance and she wanted to learn from Guru Rohini ji. She used to tell me that when I was a toddler, she used to carry me in her arms and dance to some music, some songs. So when we shifted to Pune, I was 5, and she took me to Rohini ji when I was 7 complete 8 because that was the rule. So I was very fortunate to have learned directly from Guru Rohini ji since then. My mom used to come and watch my classes, and I used to rehearse with her at home to her clapping. She was very good at sur and lay. Yes. And Rohini ji also was very fond of her, and their interaction was very beautiful. So this was the beginning for me, and that was the age of 8. So I just got into it completely, and that way I was a little shy. During my school and college years, I didn't perform in the programs of the school or college, but that was a very long, like an incubating period at Nritya Bharati. Guru Rohini ji's energy, her intensity, genuineness, her depth, her spirituality, her discipline, along with affection, they all rooted deeply into my personality as much as her teachings and dance. So this was a beautiful period because there was nothing like I needing programs or needing to whatever like that. I was happy doing it, and of course I performed in the Nritya Bharati events all along, like in groups, duets, and solo. And maybe as I was tall since the age of 13, I used to be included in the Nritya Bharati troupe. So I got chances to travel. And the biggest attraction used to be with Guru Rohini ji more than any other aspect of the tour. So uh, during this time, Guru Rohini ji sculpted out a dancer from my being. And when I graduated with mathematics, I was already a performer. So this was that long but beautiful journey, I would say. Firm grounding was done. And then the next 2 years were very eventful. But before that, I would like to tell you one culture that Rohini ji had developed in Nritya Bharati, which was that we could offer our Guru Dakshina only in the form of our own dance compositions. It used to be very frightening in the beginning. Like the months from January to July used to be so anxious. And there was a worry that whether some idea will come to me and whether whatever I create would be typically Kathak, stylized Kathak. But slowly, gradually, this agonizing journey started seeing some flashes of ecstasy. So it was very intriguing. And out of by this time, like till the age of 21, I'm saying, I did create some pieces, and I would like to mention one of them because that was the fruit of this tradition of Guru Purnima. The name of the piece was Nadarupa. It was very unique because it was the Nad of Sitar and Roop of Kathak, a free rendition of Rag Yaman on sitar, not played for me, and a complete silsila presentation of Kathak, like Vandana, Tal, and Abhinay, woven into it, that flow. The only request I had made was that after the alaps, I didn't want that jhala there. I wanted them to enter the theka. So that was the only thing changed in the regular format of sitar playing. And I used to listen to the music many, many times before even rehearsing, so that the music and dance used to come out of me actually hand in hand. So maybe that was the beauty of it. And also, Guru Rohini ji loved it. That was the best part of it. She made me perform it in many places. And this piece gave me a lot of confidence, especially her blessings. And my feet found sound and expression. The sound of feet found expression because it was, I had to tell my own thing, you know. That is an advantage when you create for yourself. And I explored a lot with the traditional way of movement of Kathak. And I also performed a lot with it. It gave me that experience also. I used to carry, I learned after each performance, and those were the, for me at least, the beginning of using a recording, because till then we were performing live. So I used to carry, with each experience I learned this, that carry my own tape recorder, a set of 6 big cells, fresh cells, because there was a problem of voltage fluctuation. And then I started carrying one mono speaker, and that too with a cord which I could connect to the sound mixing thing and put it in the wings. See, I had thought of a monitor then because it was the need. Monitors were not used, I think, till then. And because listening to the sitar rebounded from the auditorium was very difficult to match with. So uh, this piece gave me a lot. And that happened because of the Guru Purnima tradition. And the other thing is that I used to love to rehearse my tatkar in the regular practice with the sitar of Ustad Vilayat Khan Sahab. It used to be so nourishing. So I got trained to dance with a recording, because that needs a different kind of concentration to be with the recording. So this is Nada Rupa, and this was a stage that you could call my childhood. Till then, I was a free bird, happy creating and dancing.
Great time. So, what was that one moment where you just, felt that yes, this is going to be my career, my path for the rest of my life? Because you being a master degree holder in mathematics as well as acupressure, and all of this, I think, was very much simultaneous in your life.
Uh,
So,
mhm.
what made you think that yes, I will pursue only dance as my career path?
I'll come to your answer, this answer. Uh, I'll just continue with what I was saying and come to that. Uh, After Nanda Rupa was created, in a few days only, I got a chance to participate in a Marathi play. I mean, to dance only. This play was invited to the fifth Third World Festival in Korea. It was a theater festival, and 25 people, and I was the 26th, the only dancer. The whole team went there, and dance was required in order to communicate with the audience without language. So Rohini ji gave me the task, and I went there, and it was a beautiful experience. Again, I was talking about the technical thing. I remember there performing a Nandi, as you know, they in Marathi plays they show Ganesha with the Ganesha face, and I was dancing around with the piece, and there was follow light, which I didn't expect at all, and that was so beautiful to have. I mean, even you are on stage, but then you become alone, beautifully alone, and dancing around Ganesha, and I never got that chance ever again. So this Follow Light was a very beautiful thing, and there were two shows of this play, but we toured 5 countries, and over there were performances arranged for the Indian people. And what happened was the great writer, Marathi writer Venkatesh Madgulkar, who was the writer of this play, was accompanying on the tour. So the performances used to be his storytelling and then my solo performance. So that gave me more experience also. And very special thing happened that for this whole project, Guru Rohini ji found Ganesh Stuti from the era of Peshwas, from where the play was taken, and of a Shahir. And she took that song, she gave music to it, she got it recorded, she sang for it, and just gave it to me and said, "You choreograph it now." So that was a prasad. What can I say? And the other thing, she used to perform Saint poet Gyaneshwar's Virahini, a song of separation, and she taught that to me because it was relevant in the play, a part of it. So I used to do that also. So can any guru be more generous than this? So she sent me all prepared like that. So I used to perform Nadarupa followed by Virahini. So it was Nadarupa was a complete Kathak recital of 23 minutes in a flow, and then Virahini. So I was very fortunate to have got this opportunity. Then I came back, and then at the age of 22, I got married and went to the US. And I did my master's in mathematics there at Virginia Tech. It was a complete change of scene. I did teach some girls there, Kathak, and I performed very little, but I did. And I continued with my rehearsal very much. So that was another beautiful experience. I went to this, there was a performing arts building, and I went to meet those people to request that please give me some space to rehearse, because in the flats it was not possible, it was all wooden. So they just handed over a bunch of keys to me of the building and the halls. They were all halls for teaching ballet, big halls. And they said, whenever the classes are not on, you just come and rehearse. So I used to take, even in the snowy winters, I used to have this backpack with a change of clothes, with my tape recorder, with a metronome, with music, with gungroos and all. I went there and danced to my heart's content. And just imagine a huge hall, completely wooden flooring, one side windows, one side mirror, and me alone. So this went on for two straight 2 years, and that gave me so much of joy and strength. I didn't need anybody even to be there, that whatever Rohini ji had given me was so sufficient to sustain. And I came back before her, stood before her, and I was in shape and quickly back to my learning and dancing routine. So this was one very different experience. And then I started teaching for degree college at Ferguson College. So I was teaching mathematics, and that went on for 7 years. And at the 7th year, 8th year, when I was going to get a permanent job, I quit. And I will tell you the reason now. That, see, it was always completely clear without any doubt that I wanted to dance for all my life. I think that is more important than labeling it as a career. So deleting my other part of the career was choosing this one, really speaking, because I was doing everything that I could in dance. And I just needed one assurance from Guru Rohini ji, which I actually went to her and asked for, whether I could carry forward what she was giving me, for one thing, properly, and whether I could create. So, and she assured, of course, and I already knew that she felt that I was wasting my time in this other occupation, and I should just focus completely on dance. And it is also true that then my family wasn't depending on my earning. So I was quite free to choose at that time. And I quit my job. I loved mathematics, I still do. I do it in some other ways. I sometimes teach somebody, but it stopped. And I started my school. I was teaching since the age of 19, actually, on and off. But I started my school and named it Prakriti. And the reason for this name is that I hoped that me and my students both could find our own individual Prakriti through dance. I think that the study of classical art forms is not just for the sake of that art form, but it is to explore within. An artist tries to find himself through the study of performing art. So I think that's where I was. I thought at that stage that my being was finding a proper desired expression. So I would like to show you one video of this stage when I of a beautiful composition of Guru Rohini ji, which I love very much. It is the Ardhanari Nateshwar Stotra. Just a glimpse of that we will see now.
So, Taig, whenever anybody decides to pursue dance as a career, the prior focus is always on performance. But what was your take on it? Like, was it research? Was it teaching? Or, of course, performance?
The focus was betterment, just betterment in every aspect of Kathak. Guru Rohini ji offered everything to us. She has worked in every aspect of Kathak, created music, poetry, and dance, everything. So, about teaching, and teaching comes naturally to me. I can't be without teaching. So, I have had good students. They have inspired me. It has been nourishing. So, I'm thankful to them for that. And I'll be continuing teaching always. Performing, actually comes first, because you can't be a good teacher without being a dancer or a good performer. So I have been performing all along till date. I love to perform. At the same time, I haven't gone out to reach people for that. About research, I have done my master's from Pune University, and the subject, the thesis I did was on choreography and Kathak. And the main focus was on there was a comparison, a parallel search with the Western and Indian module, ways of doing choreography. So the solo dance was the most important of that. Then further, I took on Guru Rohiniji's work as my field of research, my field of interest. And a few things that I have done from there is, on behalf of Nritya Bharati, from the archival material of Nritya Bharati, I created a film titled Lehja on Guru Rohiniji's work. It's a very detailed film, and it's like a one-to-one experience with Guru Rohiniji. So you can always use it, go back to it again and again. She had liked the film very much. So that was the first thing. The second was creating an audio CD titled Nupura Duna Pyari. This has Guru Rohiniji's selected music compositions and some lyrics also. And this CD is accompanied by a booklet having notations of the compositions, explanations, and comments. So that is there. The third part was about her book. Moj Prakashan from Mumbai had brought out her book titled Lehja. That happened first, actually. And she had published 17 of her research papers, which were done earlier for different publications, but she had chosen them to be put together as a book into 4 chapters. And I was very fortunate to be able to assist her in this process. So I got to listen to all the discussions of her with the editor, Shri Poo Bhagwat, and she did her loud thinking with me, so I understood even more. And the proofreading and bringing out it to reality, I would work in that. And later, last year, Raza Foundation took up this book to be transformed into Hindi for the Kathak reader. So I became instrumental because of this previous work. And I translated the book partially. We added 3 chapters to that book. One was of Guru Rohiniji's seminar papers that she had written in Hindi only. She didn't take them in the Marathi book. And 1 chapter on her kavits and other compositions. These are all in Hindi, so they had to be there in that book. And the 3rd chapter was of writings of eminent people on her, like her Guru Mohan Rao Ji, Mohan Rao Kalyanpurkar, and Srimati Kalanidhi Narayanan, and Dr. Ashok Kerkar. These I translated from English to Hindi, so that another learning experience for me. And a beautiful article by Sri Ashok Vajpayee. So this all got added to the book. The book is available now. They asked me to write an article on her. So I have written an article which could guide a reader to go through the book in that way. So these are the aspects of research. Another one is that I have done a lot of thinking and research on her choreographies, and I have conducted workshops for senior students of Nritya Bharati and its branches, and for 1 month to 3 months as required, and I have revived many of her choreographies. And I find myself very fortunate to have been able to pass on her work to the next generations. And it is also beautiful to see how these students have received training from their respective gurus who are senior disciples of Guru Rohiniji, so that they all can come together and work on such things. I think that through all this work, I grew immensely, very much. And in the last 10 or 15 years of Guru Rohiniji, whenever we interacted or worked on something, many times she used to say you know exactly what I want to say. And that is such a big thing for me. I won't need anything more than that.
Yes, I very truly said that one line, it just makes up for everything.
Yes.
And this is just such a nice atmosphere, a very homogeneous atmosphere that Rohini ji has
Yes.
created, and it's still thriving, and still young dancers are benefiting from it. So, such a lineage. I mean, I think all of us, even those who do not follow that particular repertoire, but the style, but even young dancers like us, we are totally in awe of her work and totally inspired by her work.
Mhm.
So, Tai, you have, like, right from, as you mentioned earlier, that as a Guru Dakshina, she used to expect a small choreography from every disciple.
Mhm.
So, what is your thought process behind it? Like, how does the theme come to you first, or you look for music first? What is the process behind your conceptualization of a certain choreography?
Mhm. I would like to answer this by making categories. So, not covering everything, but see, what is choreography? I believe that a choreography is a reflection of the choreographer, his personality. And what is a personality? It is your original nature plus the grooming and inputs you get, plus your perception of the world around you, whatever you have tried to accumulate. So, also, as I said, that I have got a lot of intensive and extensive grooming in the sense participating in Guru Rohinji's choreographies, because choreography cannot be taught. It comes naturally, and observing the process and everything. So the first category, not in that order as such, but I would say, because I've spoken about Nada Rupa, it is in response to a certain music. So I have done other compositions also. One of them is on Yanni's music also, in completely abstract way, using movement of Kathak. So this is one that. So if a music really appeals to you, you do respond to it, and your response is obviously through your medium. So second category, which should be the first one actually, is the traditional format. That is, we get groomed in this area mainly, and that is why actually creating in this area comes more naturally and effortlessly. So maybe I'll give you some quick examples uh, from Nritta and Nritya, little bit. I take Nritta. See, I was creating Khandajati Teen Tal. I had created the Thaat, and when I came to Paranamat, there is a Paranamat of Guru Rohini ji, which I very dearly love, and she used to perform it very beautifully. It was in Chatushra Jati, but she used to call it in a funny way, uh, Sudo Tishra Jati. Because in Chatushra Jati, the designs were of three threes, gave an impression of Tishra Jati. It was Tishra Gati. So I'll recite that to you quickly, if it is okay. Dha, tin, tin, ta, ta, dhin, dhin, dha, dha, ta, ka, thum, da, dha, ge, di, ge, ta, dha, din, ta, te, ta, kid, dha, ta, ka, thum, ga, ta, kita, ta, ka, ti, ti, ka, ta, ge, di, ge, tarha, ta, kita, ta, ka, ti, ti, ka, ta, ge, di, ge, tarha, Takitataka. Titikata gedigen tarha. So this and a very beautiful and unique way of performing it. Many times in for some of the bowls, she used to have this very playful expression. Though the topic is not relevant, but I want to show a very small piece of hers, how she did it. It was in the tal of 10.5 beats, tal chitra rupa. I'll just recite it. Tin, tin, na ka dhin, dha, ka dhin, dha, dhage tik tik kit dig dig tati, ta dig dig te ite, te dig dig tati, ta dig dig te, te dig 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 tati tatati tati tatati tatati tati tatati tatati tati tadin. And the movement went this way. I'll just try to frame it. Dig dig tati tatati tati ta dig dig te te dig dig tati tatati tati ta dig dig te te dig 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 tati tatati tati tatati tatati tati tatati tatati tati tati. So this was a very beautiful way of her dance. So while doing this Khandajati Teen Tal, I thought, why don't I try Sudo Tishri Jati or Sudo Chatishri Jati in actual Khandajati? So I'll try to recite that. Dha, tin, tin, ta, ta, dhin, dhin, dha, dha, ta, ka, tum, ga, adha, ta, ka, tum, ga, dha, ge, di, ge, ta, adha, ge, di, ge, ta, dha, din, ta, de, ta, dha, din, ta, de, ta, kid, dha, ta, ka, tum, ga, ta, ka, tum, ga, ta, ki, ta, ka, ta, ki, ta, ka, ti, ti, ka, ta, ge, di, ge, dha, ti, ti, ka, ta, ge, di, ge, dha, ti, ti, ka, ta, ge, di, ge, ta, te, te, ta, thi, ta, te, a, te, a, thi, ta, te, ta, ta, te, ta, 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 ta. So this creating in this traditional format is most joyful. There was one incident when I tried to create Paran, and keeping Rohini ji in mind that she used to create both with the lyrics, with the bhav, with the tune, all together. So this was one piece that happened to me, which was both the bandish and the abhinay came together. So this is the grooming gives you this. You don't know when and how it comes. So I wouldn't say there is a process as such. It comes out. And if I go to Abhinay, about Abhinay, I would like to say that because of my grooming, I never had doubt as to which poetry, piece of poetry or song or thumri should be good, would be good for dance or not, or a piece of music. See, whatever you want to depict and reach to the audience has to be done by the dancer and through his medium of dance, that is through the sharir bhasha, or commonly said as body language. So that you have to do, the words are only for the viewer, for the audience, and you have to dance with your own instrument and with your own medium. So Thumris are good, very good, and that's why they are so popular for Kathak, because there are only a few words, and the way of singing is there can be many variations of lines and can be filled with alapi, so the artist becomes free to perform. You don't need to go line by line. There is ample scope. So other than the traditional format like Thumri, Pad, Vandana, I have choreographed few poems also. And since you were asking about the process, what I do for this is, of course, I do my research. I do a lot of thinking. Guru Rohini ji used to say that you should put that seed in your mind. Let it be there. Let it take its time to germinate, and then let it grow. So that process has to be there. You can't just do a choreography like a patchwork ready in 2 days. I mean, today's norms are different, but this is how it should be. So I used to get the music done. I cannot create music myself, but I know what I need. So I get the music done and I recite the poem myself. So it is open for the timing and expression, for the interpretation. So that's how I love to do the poems. And one poem I'll mention. I was looking for something to be performed as a duet. for two of my students. And I read many poems, and I came across this beautiful poem by the great poet Kavi Kusumagraj of Marathi. And the title is Kon, that is, who was it? The poet says that in the stillness of night one day, there was a knock on the door. I was scared, but I opened the door, and the person who rushed in looked exactly like me. And he said that I am your ghost, and I am now tired of being in the coffin of your past. So I've come to you, oh my master, and I'm now going to be with you. So they meet each other, they confront, they talk, they fight, they argue, they cry, and so on all night. And poet says that that was my subconscious mind. He doesn't say that in the poetry, actually, but he says that it was his subconscious mind, and that was an enlightening experience for him. And the poem was so spiritual, so dramatic, and so apt for a duet. It was very exciting and satisfying to create this poem. And I think that as I go on, if I go on performing it, maybe I'll myself will keep grooming, and I would do the end in different ways, because the poet says that in the morning one of us left. I don't know who left and who stayed. So such poetry makes you think and gives a totally new format for performance of this poetry. So it comes out, you don't know from where, because it is all the inputs that have gone in. So this is about a poetry. And one more thing I would like to say, that this was, I had chosen to do a poetry, but sometimes some happenings grab your mind. And one such was the earthquake at Kilari in Maharashtra, I think in '94. So it had really stuck to my mind, that how come there are people who suffer for no reason, and there are people who get saved for no apparent reason. And why it is so. The name of the thing was Ka, Kyon. So I thought and thought about it. I didn't know how to work with it, how to show an earthquake, you know. So I just kept thinking, and the Guru Purnima was closing in and in. So it so happened that because of my thinking, and that it had really touched my mind. Sometimes you need an outlet, and that outlet is through your medium. What else have you got otherwise? So one night, everything just came out, emerged together. The main character, a small storyline, the music, a single verse that I was going to use, and the music, the format for it. It just came, and it got done in 2 days. And I invited the musicians to give their inputs in a way that this format was extension of Gadbhav, the special aspect of Kathak, of Gadbhav. So you just have Theka and Nagma. So what came to me was, I used a different Theka for a different character. I didn't use words. So it was with Theka and Nagma, but it used to change. And this is a elderly lady, and she met with the experience. So it is all through her eyes that I have depicted it. So first part is she sees her family and everybody in the family and so on. And the Theka that came naturally was Deepchandi, doing Gadbhav in her role in Deepchandi for her age was so much inspiring that Theka itself contributed a lot. So this was one composition, and Rohini ji loved it, and she said you should call this a prasang, as there used to be this format earlier in Kathak formats, different aspects of Kathak. So, and only one line is used in the middle. So this was one. So this was as my reaction to a happening. So that research and process, everything happens on its own. You just do the supporting thing. So that is one. And one quick mention of dance drama, because this I wouldn't have handled myself. The very well-known NGO AIWC, All India Women's Conference, had completed were completing their 75 years, and they had come to Guru Rohini ji for a ballet on their work. And it is very difficult to do a ballet on this kind of work. So Rohini ji suggested that we will do a ballet titled Naika, and we will take 6 leading ladies of India from the last 2 centuries. So, and there was one piece by Guru Rohini ji, which she had done earlier as Katputli, which was done in abstract way, and how a woman herself decides to stand on her feet was the piece. So that was the leading piece. And then out of the 6 Naikas, I did 3. One was Pandita Ramabai, one was Aruna Asaf Ali, and one was Indira Gandhi ji, since she led the nation. So while preparing for Indira Gandhi, it was very difficult to show her story in 15 minutes. So I read and thought about it, and I came out with a solution that I distilled her political life out of that thing. What happenings were there, like, you know, but her contribution, or what happened at the time of emergency and how she was removed and then she came back and so on. But this was done in a very suggestive way, musical way, and the big things that she did were there. And in order to play this role myself, I had read books. Even one book that is there for children came in handy because it was in a gist, you know. So it matters that you can say your thing in brevity. So that mattered, and I had seen one of her archival films. So there were in Ferguson College, there was a pandal with 3,000 delegates of the NGO, and it was so enjoyable performing there, and they all loved it. The whole ballet went very well, successful. And later there was dinner for everybody and me and my friends were walking through. So what happened was, the senior ladies there who had been with Indira Gandhi ji, they were so charged up. They came to me one by one, shaking hands with me to, just feel the thrill of it. So a totally different experience, and how words can be brought in, the Vachika part of it, which we generally don't. But that was the need of the performance. So in each case, it is different. There was one ballet I had created, again for 20 minutes, called Trishna. And this Trishna I meant that was a person who needed to dance. But who had to be with the rest of the world, with her family, and she had to do her duties and everything, and how she found out a way, her inner journey, And later I realized that this is my story. I didn't think so, but it was my story. So, but done quite symbolically.
Tai, do you have any video clips of any of the choreographies that you mentioned?
Yeah, I would like to show you a choreography which I mentioned just now of the earthquake. That is there, so you can show that. Also, out of the traditional format, Guru Rohini ji used to do. She had created a way of performing a tarana followed by a samadhun geet. That she would create a tarana herself, and in the same tune as the Astai and Antara, she would create a geet and perform them one after the other. So our music composer Shri Ajay Parad had composed tarana in 10.5 beats tal. So I choreographed that tarana, and then I created a geet to be samadhun with that tarana, and there is a glimpse of this. So tarana and samadhun geet, and this choreography on the earthquake.
Guru Rohinitai is such a legendary person, and I know imbibing even one fourth of her qualities or her personality
100.
is
100.
is a big task. But what is that you would like to, like, you have imbibed and would like to pass on to your students as well?
Uh, I have tried doing everything, but since you're asking for one thing that I should imbibe and my students should, it is her regularity without compromise. The thing is that mere talent does not work. Regular efforts, your inputs matter, then only you become something. So her regularity was just out of this world. She never felt it a right on her meal unless she rehearsed, she created, and she taught every single day. And I've seen this happen. So it's just superhuman, I would say. Uh,
Yes, I think words just fail you when you have to speak about your guru, and you just can't put it in words. I can totally imagine that. One has to experience that journey, and still you will be short of words. Yes.
yes.
Okay, Tai. So, as a director of Nritya Bharati, I'm
Mhm.
sure there must be various activities that the institute must be carrying for young dancers. So, any current activities that are active?
Yeah, of course. Um, there is ample that can be done. I'm just trying to put my share in. See, Nritya Bharati works in two beautiful ways. One is that every senior disciple of Guru Rohini ji is running a school of their own, and they teach according to the norms of Nritya Bharati or of Guru Rohini ji, and they explore in the directions of their interests, and they create a lot, and they groom beautiful performers. So everybody is doing that, and in Nritya Bharati we also parallelly get together. We have 2 annual events when we work under a roof. And other than that, there are many programs, projects, senior teachers' lectures, and workshops that we carry out. We take topics at a time, and whoever can join during those things. I would like to tell you the recent one last year. I conducted a workshop for about 3 to 4 months on one of Guru Rohini ji's ballets titled Tanmatra on the Panchamahabhutas, the 5 elements. And it was a 1 hour ballet and a classic one. Her music, her thought, and very abstract choreography. So it took a lot of time. And altogether, 25 to 25 girls, senior students who were already performers, were together. And I could pass on the ballet to them as much as is my capacity. And then I actually hold a program called Samvedan for Guru Rohini ji on behalf of Prakriti. Every November, 14th November is her birthday. So at that time, I invite people to perform, big stalwarts from music and dance, because she was a musician, music composer for Kathak. So in order to honor her in both ways, I do that. But this we had done last year in Samvedan. So the whole Nritya Bharati was together and we performed it in Samvedan. And it was really memorable. And we created the whole music again, made the recording. So we used to do it live at that time earlier. And now it has been 25 years. And my Prakriti also has completed 25 years. So it was a big occasion and we could perform that with the whole Nritya Bharati together. So the team spirit is beautiful. And the energy gets added up when you want to do something of and for Rohini ji.
Yes, Sai. The energy certainly gets, and it multiplies whenever you do it. And
Yeah,
number of times you do, the energy will, like, like,
absolutely.
it's infinite. Right.
Absolutely.
So Sai, now we'll shift our focus to the current scenario. Like,
Mhm.
this COVID-19 has this pandemic, it has really put a stop to various artists who are, like, full-time performers.
Mm.
So what are your views of the performing art scenario, like, on a whole, after this pandemic is over? Like, currently we are not having any live shows, only the online medium is available. But
Mm.
once this pandemic is a little bit manageable, you can say, what do you think, how the artist and how the audience will react to it?
See, I am an optimist, first of all. And secondly, as much I understand the current situation, it's definitely going to take time before audiences come for the performances. But I think it will re-establish. Whatever time it takes, gradually it will happen. The thing is, right now, everybody is teaching rigorously online. And I think there are 2 benefits of this particular kind of a pause. This pause makes you think, retrospect, you make yourself grow, provided you are rehearsing. And the other is that in today's traffic, it is so difficult at times to girls to attend classes. At least, actually, this medium was always there from earlier, but now we are exploring it. So some good things are also coming out of it. They are becoming fruitful. But it is true that many artists are uh, losing on their livelihoods, and this performing art needs sharing while teaching as well as while performing. So we are missing out on that. But I don't think that this condition will stay. I have no idea exactly how much time it will take, but things will re-establish, and we have to be ready for that day, that nobody should miss their riyaz, and come out strong. I have had some pauses in my life, like when I had my children or when I had a bad injury to my foot. You are going on in a rut, in a routine sometimes. So nature has given time to us to think. And these art forms have been there for millenniums and they have survived. there is no reason why they should not survive now. It's like changes here and there. I would like to mention one interesting thing that I have a specially abled student, and she has been learning from me for quite some time. And even in this situation, I'm teaching her online. And that is so joyful. Actually, I miss her otherwise, because her purity, her capacity, her concentration, her love for dance is really, really inspiring and nourishing for me. So having her online with me is a beautiful thing. And last year only I created Mira Bhajan for her. So maybe if you can just show a minute of that, uh, I would love that. Her name is Tanaya, and she can watch dance for any number of hours. That kind of concentration I have not seen in myself also.
So creditable. I think this is a part of your grooming too, so that she is so much engrossed in whatever she is learning. And we would definitely love to see that 1 minute video of her. So, Tai, it has been a wonderful experience talking to you today. And thank you so much for sharing your experiences, your views, and your body of work with us. So, thank you so much.
Thank you, Neha. It was very enjoyable for me. Quite a trip back into time.
Great.
Thank you.